Hey guys, how you doing? Chris Rod, Sun City Lawn Care here in West Texas, El Paso. Triple digit heat. Woo! It's hot, man. It is hot. Thank God I got this 20,000 gallon swimming pool, because I tell you what, when I get off work, when I'm done cutting all the lawns for the day, I tell you, first thing I do, I hop in this pool. But here's the point of the video. And I know a lot of you guys are asking questions out there. You guys got questions. How do I maintain my Bermuda lawn in the heat of the summer? And I don't know if y'all can tell, it's not looking too bad, but let's look right there, right above where my dog Tango. He's getting a drink, man. It's hot. He's thirsty. But y'all see that right there? See that circle? Oh, what is that business? That's the point of today's video. We're going to talk about how to maintain your lawn, how to continue to maintain your lawn in the heat of the summer. I don't know if y'all have triple digit heats like we got here in West Texas in the desert environment. 106 degrees today. 106. So I'm going to get a quick mow in, and we're going to talk about a couple things that you can do to protect your lawn from heat, drought stress, the heat, watering techniques, fertility, and I'm going to give you one application that I think you should be doing, especially if you are here in West Texas, because next week, if you haven't looked at the forecast here or wherever you guys may be on the East Coast, transition zone, the south or up north, some of you guys should be applying something of this particular application. If you haven't already, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, hit that bell notification, because we got multiple videos coming out as often as possible. And if you got a question, please leave a comment below, but hit that subscribe button, because today we got some nuggets that we're gonna be dropping. All right, again, back to today's video. So we're going to cover a few basic key aspects of lawn care in the heat of the summer, in June, going into July, if you guys will. And if you haven't already, please go ahead and subscribe, hit that bell notification, leave a comment below if you got questions, or if you find any value in the YouTube channel that I've created as far as an educational aspect to homeowners here in El Paso, my Bermuda Lawn homeowners, wherever the heck you guys are at. Today, what I did want to point out is a few issues with my own lawn, a couple techniques as far as watering, fertility, and how we can maintain a healthy lawn throughout the heat of the summer. So let's just dive right into this. So first and foremost, what I do want to point out is that spot. You guys see that circle right behind me, right above my dog there? You see that circular pattern? When you start to see these patterns inside of your lawn, understand it can only be two things this time of the season if you're in West Texas. Maybe you're in the transition zone, maybe you're up north and you've got some inclement weather, right? And you guys start to see these patterns inside of your lawn and you're wondering what the heck is wrong with my yard, right? Because nobody likes to see that. I don't like to see that. And you're starting to wonder what the heck's wrong with my lawn. So to get to the bottom, get to the root, here's the first thing I want you guys to do. What we do in the lawn care industry when we get to a property, give me one second. Let me mess with this freaking fiasco of a haircut here. All right, when we get to a fiasco of a property, when we get to a property and we see issues, we see chlorosis, we start to see patterns, and I'm going to leave the camera where it's at, but if you start to see patterns like this, where you got like a circular pattern, here's the first thing I want you guys to do. And you guys should be able to hear me from over yonder, wherever that pattern is, outside of a dog pee spot, a urine spot, a localized dry spot. If you see a circular pattern, or if you're standing next to an irrigation head where you know the heads are, and you see some sort of pattern, we got to start digging. That's the first thing you're going to do. So I've got this circular spot right here, right? The first thing I'm going to do, where the brown edge of that circular spot meets the green, come on, Bo, is I want you to start digging. You take your spade, whatever kind of knife you got, maybe it's a trowel that you use for gardening. And I want you to dig a nice good circle around it, okay? And the reason why I want you guys to do this, where the brown meets the green, is we're looking for grubs. We're looking for pest issues. We got to rule out a couple things when we're doing this kind of lawn care, depending on the time of the season and where you're located. But what I can tell you is factually, in June, and I can say this because literally today, even though I've already treated the yard for pest, grubs, ants, cinch bugs, I pulled out the skimmer earlier. No, I'm sorry. I pulled out a floating something, and there was a June bug inside of it, right? And I'm thinking, dadgummit, I've already treated the lawn for grub worms. Why do I got June bugs all of a sudden? And so we got to look for pest issues. And then when I'm mowing, as you guys noticed earlier, along the edge there's a little ant hill. So I'm like, dadgummit, what the heck's going on? I've already treated for pest issues. And so what I want you guys to do is you got to dig where the brown meets the green. Yes, you're going to jack up your lawn a little bit here, as you can see me doing, but it was so leveled. Oh, God. And I want you to look for grub worms. Ooh, that soil looks dry. Good gracious. All I see are roots. That's all I see. Roots. You know, the thing about lawns is you can just put them back in place like that, especially Bermuda grass, and it will fill back in, it will recover. That's step one. Step one is you start digging. If you find a grub worm, you know your problem. If you don't find a grub worm this time of the year, you need to move on to phase 2 or step 2, which is solving disease and fungus issues. Remember this, guys. Increased temperatures, humidity, increased temperatures, increased humidity, wherever you're at. And if you're here locally in El Paso, check your forecast next week. I bet you we got a lot of rain. Just saying. It was a week ago, we got like this crazy hailstorm. I saw a post yesterday, Alabama getting hailstorms. Increased temperatures, we're 106, we got increased humidity. You are prone to disease and fungus issues. So, going into next week, what I am doing is I'm doing a reapplication because I've already done an application of azoxystrobin, which is a fungicide. This is a bag you can get from your big box store. Again, you guys know if you've been following, I'm an advocate of BioAdvance. This particular product is fungus control for lawns. You can apply this to any lawn. It's got application rates on the back. You throw down a little bit of product. Brown patch. See that? I don't know if you guys can tell what that circle is right there in this camera here. You see what that is? That is the beginning phases of what we call brown patch, okay? Now, the reason why I ruled out fairy ring, which is a circular, which is a circular pattern of disease. Fairy ring is a bright green ring. What we see behind me there is a bright brown, not bright, it's actually a dull color brown ring. That's your beginning stages of brown patch, okay? You got to start preparing for fungus and disease, okay? So every 28 days, whether it be azoxystrobin or propaganazole, one of these active ingredients inside of fungus products, you want to get down going into monsoon season. On KLAQ, what I heard the other morning, and I'm not knocking KLAQ, I love KLAQ, I listen to them all the time. It's a local radio station, but they broadcast nationally. One of the co-host was asking, is it monsoon season? When? Okay, so you're in El Paso, monsoon season. If you go and visit the Texas agricultural website, you're going to understand, you're going to read up on monsoon season in El Paso is typically the back end of July all the way through mid-September time frame. That's when we start getting those intermittent rain showers, okay? Wherever you guys are at, if you're starting to get rain or if you've already been experiencing rain and you've got an opportunity to prevent things like this, or you're experiencing disease issues or patterns of chlorosis inside of your lawn. Chlorosis meaning you had a green lawn and now it's all brown, or it's turning a blue gray, or it's turning brown, and you see this pattern outside of an irrigation pattern. You'll know if it's an irrigation pattern, but you see these random patterns. It's more than likely this time of the year a disease issue. So what we're going to do, let me dive into this because I got a whole lot of other things to talk about. All right, guys, so the next thing you want to do, this is really kind of like a step 2. It's a do it if you want, but you don't have to. But we keep fertilizing our southern lawns during the summertime heat. And you can also keep fertilizing your northern grass types. Turf type, tall fescue, KBG, whatever it is. What we do like to incorporate when we're going into fertility in the summertime, and this is a 2100, no phosphorus, no potassium, because I've added enough of the aerate product. I got plenty of potassium down to help protect and strengthen up those cellular walls of the grass plant. We're going to go pure nitrogen, okay? The phosphorus, I've always been high on phosphorus, so I'm not going to add any more. So I'm going to go with a 2100 on a spoon feeding rate. This is how we fertilize going into the summertime. You don't lay down a pound, you don't lay down a half a pound, 2 pounds, 5. You don't dump a bunch of that diesel crap on the freaking lawn, the urea. Stop doing that. Stop it. All you have to do is spoon feed your lawn. You give it a dose, a micro dose of continued fertilization, okay? We almost do it same way with our indeterminate tomatoes or our heavy feeders like corn. Corn, once it gets knee high, depending on your growing time, you only give it a second dose of fertilizer. We give it a 4600, and that's the last fall. That's the last spring fertilizer application. With the lawn, and the thing crazy about corn is that it's basically a grass. It grows thick blades just like turf, okay? Not just like turf, I shouldn't say that, but the point is it's a heavy feeder, okay? Your Bermuda lawns here in the south, we give it a little bit of food, spoon feed it, you go about half the rate. So if you've been throwing down 3/4 pound, you've been throwing it down, you need to back off some. In the summertime, what we do is we initiate a spoon feeding program. You go half the dosage, so you may back it down to a 1/4 pound of nitrogen. You may even back it down to half a pound of nitrogen, depending on your routine application rates. The fact of the matter is, we just give it a little bit of food. You ain't got to get heavy with it. And as you guys know, if you've been following along, we've only fed the lawn once the whole season. Tell me that ain't green. One-time application. And that one-time application, we did a half a pound of nitrogen, if I'm not mistaken. So right here, right now, we got a dose of 2100 at the half pound nitrogen rate. So all we're doing is simply adding a little bit more of nitrogen, okay? When I say a little bit more, I mean a 1/4 pound of nitrogen per 1,000 square feet. All right, guys, that's pretty much it for today's video. I just wanted to make it quick and dry and simple as possible. It's the end of June. Going into July, we got 4th of July weekend coming up. It's time to start continuing, time to start preparing and continuing protecting that lawn, okay? As you guys already noticed, we had our own issues inside of the lawn today. I've been observing it over this past week or so. This round brown circle been driving me crazy, right? So you get to the root of the problem. You either dig or you don't dig. If you've already applied pest control, you haven't, you need to get it down. If you've already applied fungicide and you haven't, you need to get it down, because there are certain times of the year that we do these fungicide applications to present things like brown patch, dollar spot, fairy ring, take all patch with Southern Lawns, or brown patch, where it starts off in a brown section. Next thing you know, your whole freaking lawn is brown. You got gray leaf spot. There's all these sorts of fungus and disease issues that you have an opportunity to prevent, if you're willing to, by doing applications of fungicide. So outside of that, if you do have chlorosis inside of your lawn and you don't think it's a disease issue, maybe it's an irrigation issue. But if you stand, for example, right here where I have a sprinkler head, and you notice a pattern of chlorosis, oh, it's going off. It's going to lead me into my next tip right now. But if you start to notice a pattern of chlorosis where the sprinkler head is, you got an irrigation issue, man. Fix that stuff. Get it repaired or run your irrigation system longer. Okay, so that's irrigation. Chlorosis, fertility, disease, pest control. We're covering a lot here right now, right? And I'm trying to talk as slow as I can. The last thing that I want to talk, actually there's two more things. This is the third tip of June lawn care going into July, is your watering techniques, okay? And I get this question all the time. Matter of fact, I did a response recently on one of our previous YouTube videos about new sod and when you should water. It doesn't matter if it's new sod or established turf, you always water in the morning, guys. The reason why we always water in the morning is because you are less prone to disease issues and fungal issues when you water in the morning. I know the thought process may be, let me water in the evening when it's the cooler part of the night so that it doesn't evaporate. And then you see me making this video, right, where we're watering our turf. It's 7 p.m. right now. Okay, don't mistake watering from syringe soaking or syringe cooling. This is the last tip that I'm going to give you guys today. This is different from watering, okay? So, water in the mornings because you want that water to penetrate through the soil so you're less prone to disease and fungal issues. Anytime that the ambient air temperatures are 80 degrees or lower for 10 hours or more, you are susceptible to disease and fungal issues. Avoid the problem. Stop watering at night. Please, for the love of God, stop watering at night. You water in the mornings only. That is the rule of thumb throughout the freaking world when it comes to watering. Do you see how quick that zone went off? And now it's on the next zone. The reason why, and this is the last tip that I got for you guys going into July and protecting your lawn, is we implement, or we start to do what's called a syringe soaking. Give it a little splash of water the hottest part of the day. Don't water at night. Deep, infrequent waterings. Mornings only, people. Mornings only. That's how you prevent these disease and fungal issues. Now, this fungal issue that I experienced over here, that is a small isolated incident. Why that happened, I don't know, because I've already applied fungicide probably about 2 months ago. Maybe because I'm not keeping up with my fungicide applications. You got to reapply that stuff every 28 days. That is the residual on a lot of these active ingredient fungicides like propaganazole or azoxystrobin. Get your big box store. That's my #1 tip going into July, the heat of the summer, if you want to protect your lawns. Because right now, outside of that spot, and you see that browning right there, that's an isolated irrigation problem. So we started doing the syringe soaking, and everything else you see that's browning, those are just dog pee spots. Okay, guys, that's all I got for you. Hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, leave me a comment, leave me a positive comment. I don't appreciate, or I don't reply to the non-constructive criticism. What I appreciate is helping you guys out, you homeowners out there, with constructive criticism. Let's go back and forth. Let's have a conversation. I'm here to help you guys out in any way, shape, or form. Outside of that, half a pound of nitrogen, almost a pound for the whole season. And that's it for this Bermuda grass. Y'all stay healthy out there. Y'all stay hydrated. And I will see you in the lawn next week. Have a good one. Ciao.